This is an audio check. Can I get audio from Andrew, please?
Can I get a hi?
Yeah, okay, can I get a hiya from Austin?
Hiya!
Can I get a hoya from Cindy?
Hiya!
Mom, say something.
Huh?
All right, hey, what's up, you guys? It's the siblings you wish you had, and today I'm your host, Alan, and today with me I have Judy.
I'm
What's up?
Judy. What's up?
We have Cindy.
Hi.
We got Andrew.
Well, my name is Andrew. I like to burp.
Oh, okay, he likes the burp test. And
Damn,
today we
why
have
he doesn't
special
burp?
guests with us today, Austin.
Hi.
Who is this man? Not
Who's
a
this guy?
sibling.
Who's this
Not
guy?
not a sibling.
I'm a sibling by law.
Brother-in-law.
Did I hear
Cindy's
law?
husband. You heard law, yeah. Cindy's husband. You want me to share a
Oh.
little bit about myself?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Who's this guy?
Tell us about yourself.
Let's see. I'm a formulation chemist. I work in a lab making personal care
I do chemistry.
products. Yeah, I do chemistry.
Are you Walter
Uh,
White?
Not Walter White. Maybe someday.
Oh,
Well, I know.
oh, he's putting it out there.
Let's see. I'm a gamer. I mean, kind of antisocial, but I took a speech class in college, so I'm pretty confident I'm gonna nail this podcast thing. So, whatever you
He's
got.
confident, guys. He's confident.
What'd
I'm
you get? What'd
confident.
you get? A plus?
In the speech class? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I got an A minus.
What
I'll
do
be
you
humble.
think?
It was a humble A minus, not an A.
Okay, okay. Like a 91?
It's like a 92.
92?
Yeah, a humble 92.
Yeah.
All right, so Austin, how did you feel when you heard that we were gonna start a podcast, just the four of us as siblings?
Well, I don't know. It's fine to like do this sort of thing. It's definitely fun to do. It's just I feel weird about it because I struggle with certain types of like I don't know if I'd call it like imposter syndrome, but I feel like I don't think the things that I say matter as much as the next person. So in some ways I'm like why is what I say more important? And if I record it and try to make content like that, I feel like I'm putting it on a pedestal like, hey, you need to listen to me because what I have to say is important. So it makes me feel weird putting myself out there in that way because I don't think of myself like that. So I don't know. It just feels weird, if that makes sense.
You are important, Austin. Your words matter. Everyone's words
Well,
matter.
of course you can say that. It's just that's like a personal struggle that I have.
Okay.
So when I saw you guys doing this, I was like, that's tough. It's hard. It's hard for me to put myself out there like that. So I don't know. I guess I commend you guys for wanting to do something like this, because it's hard to do this kind of thing. I think.
Thank you.
Thoughts? Do you guys agree?
Definitely,
Is this
definitely
hard?
agree. It's definitely valid. Much like Austin, I had some like, why are we doing this? You know, like why are we doing these thoughts? Like, what are our words? Like, how do they hold any weight to like what people want to hear? You know, like we were just talking about our lives and how our sibling dynamic is like, you know, how much tighter and closer as a bond we have as siblings. But like to put yourself out there and really say like what's on your mind is like it's a hard thing to do, and like not many people would like listen to you like just for that, you know, like I don't know, much like Austin said, like putting your words on a pedestal. You know, you might not be as interesting as the person speaking next, you know, like so it's always been a problem for me too when I did forensics. It's like, so when I did forensics, I did impromptu, and it's like, okay, I just had to come up with a bunch of words and like just create a story. But like an actual conversation, like it's hard to just keep up, you know, because people are always talking about politics or whatever. And like I myself, not as educated and like into that, but like in normal daily conversation, I just find it hard to like keep up. If anyone can relate to that, I don't know.
I don't know. For me, I don't see it the same way you guys do. Like trying to put our words on a pedestal. Like I think we just have interesting conversations. To me, I could also just probably be that I don't have too many conversations. So I also like living in the past. So like rehearing conversations, like it's just enjoyable to me. So
I mean,
Well,
I can't. Oh,
sorry, you
oh,
can go ahead.
okay. You had enough to say. I was just kidding. Anyways, I was gonna say I agree with you guys. Like, it's kind of like you don't want to feel like you're better than everyone and try to like say your opinion. I guess I don't know if that's what you're trying to say, but like that's kind of what I'm getting from it. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You
Yeah,
talking to me or Alan?
to like Andrew, you and Andrew, like you're saying, like
because you are talking
I don't
about
think
like
how
your
it's
our
words
so
on
much
a
my
pedestal.
opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think it's so
Well,
much my opinion. I think it's just like a me thing. Because for
It's a
me,
you
it
thing.
just gets to my head. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think
I
this is
know.
slightly different because it's like you guys are together doing this. You're kind of talking amongst yourselves, and you're
Mhm.
gonna have fun doing it regardless of who's listening
Yeah.
or if anyone's trying to like extrapolate some deeper meaning from your conversations. It's just cool to have around for you guys to listen to each other and like listen back on it when you listen to it in the future. But I guess I'm a little bit jaded because when I was 18, I tried to start like a YouTube channel and it was just me. It was like a solo project and I was making my own, editing my own videos and like doing the content totally on my own. And I just remember like one moment getting, I kind of like walked into someone essentially like ridiculing my work, like just making fun of it. And I told them like that's kind of upsetting to me. I don't really like that you're saying that. And then they like doubled down on it and it just crushed all my like confidence speaking to an audience if I were to ever want to make content like that. So I think this is slightly different in that regard. It's not like the same thing. I'm just a little
Yeah.
jaded from the past. So
so it's
Rip.
PTSD.
yeah, a little
Rip
bit.
off
Yeah,
those hopes and dreams. I don't know. How I think about it is like the reason why that I like to like, I guess like get our words out or whatever, like our opinions to other people is like because I feel like someone somewhere out there is gonna relate to us or like find comfort in us. And that's like all I ever wanted to be successful in something. I don't know.
So I saw a clip. I know this sounds cringy, but like I saw a clip from Ludwig talking about how like
What big?
people from other like ethnicities and like culture groups like come onto a social platform and they have that group of people already like supporting them, where it's like almost already like a family. Like you're always being supported by that group of people. So I feel like in a way like that's kind of what you're saying.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm trying
Yeah,
to say,
like
but in better words.
yeah.
I don't know.
What about you, Cindy? Any thoughts?
I was thinking about this a lot like yesterday, like how you said like how different ethnicities already have like that support group surrounding them. So like growing up where we grew up where there's like just no diversity at all, and I was just like sitting like eating with Austin the other day at Five Guys, and I just watched as like people and customers come in and there's just like no diversity at all, and I'm just like
That's because you're eating at a Five Guys.
I
What's
thought you
wrong
were.
with Five Guys?
but, like,
What's wrong with
still.
diversity of Five Guys?
Yeah, what's wrong with Five Guys? Come on.
Nothing.
But, like,
Just,
connected to like the podcast stuff, like gather my thoughts here. Always like growing up, we didn't really have people to talk to or like to talk to anybody about like kind of like what goes on in like our family background and like our family culture or anything. It's always just like kind of been in between us. And people are like, "Oh, why don't you just go like talk to somebody, like talk to a therapist or like," and like my fear was always like they would not understand kind of like what we're going through.
Yes,
It's
yes,
like
yeah.
starting this podcast is just kind of like, well, let's see, like maybe it's just not us experiencing all these things like in our Asian family and like I don't know. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I
you're
can't
trying
really
to
Yeah.
say you're
Yeah.
trying
like
to say like hopefully someone out there can relate to us and like
yeah.
has gone through things that we have experienced and gone through, and it's like not us just going through all this like this like not saying all of our like experiences is traumatic, but like are traumatic and all that good stuff and all like the funny things that we get to experience in life, basically.
The good, bad, and
And the
everything
bad.
in between.
The good, bad, and
Yeah.
ugly.
I think Cindy's statement is what I was trying to get across. Like,
Yeah.
so, like, whenever I try to hold up a conversation, like, whatever we experienced in the past isn't like what everybody else has experienced, you know? So if like I talked about something that happened in my childhood and like something that we did as a family growing up, they probably wouldn't understand that. But like I guess to grow as a person and this podcast is just really helping me open up and just like talk more and just like understand and grow and like in terms of conversation, therapy and all that. And so it's nice to like think, or not nice to think, but nice to know that there are people out there too as well that could relate to us. And it's just a nice feeling. And it's nice to talk to you guys. So
He's always so wholesome. Wow.
Also, so wholesome.
Yeah, I feel like even though like Andrew said, other people can't relate to us, it's nice to like talk about our experiences and let other people know what we're experiencing and how like different things are with our family.
nice.
Nice.
I'll give that.
I mean, I guess to kind of add to that, like, I was wondering because Austin's like kind of like I guess the outsider here, like how do you feel about like our sibling dynamic? Like, do you find it weird how close we are sometimes? Or, like just being someone on the outside, not like hanging out with us 24/7.
Yeah, I mean, compared to what I'm used to, I would say you're pretty close. It's not that I don't see siblings that are as close as you guys. I mean, I've seen a couple. It's just
Where?
not
Who?
as common. Yeah, where
Yeah,
just
we're here.
people
Show us
growing
right
up.
now.
I'm gonna
Like
fight him.
typically, it's like two. Like I know a couple kids. One's my age and his little brother's 2 years younger, and it's just two boys. There's no other siblings, so you could see how like they would be tight like that. That's it's a rare occurrence. Like it's not common that you have like four siblings that are all really close together, especially such a wide range of ages. So yeah, it's pretty unique, I would say, especially in America.
America.
Let's go, guys. We're special, guys. That's what he just said.
Oh my god.
Well, it's also like
complimenting us.
talking about the fact that like what makes us like so different from everyone else. Like growing up, like everyone, like all of our friends, like, oh, I'm going to sleep over at this person's house like this weekend, and like us being from an Asian household, like we're never allowed to leave the house, so like we don't really get to experience like that connection outside of like the household. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like
Why do you think that we weren't allowed to do that?
It's mom's parenting style, to be honest.
Because traditional Chinese values,
Yeah.
obviously. Like you leave the house and you're in American culture, and then you go home and you're in Chinese
Okay.
culture. And so
Snap
you
said
have,
that.
yeah, your mom's saying stay home, spend time with your family, and this
Yeah.
is what's important to you.
Sheltering. But like, yeah. I feel like one side it's that, and the other side is just protecting us. And like, she's always like, I don't want you guys to like bother other people, because she always says that. Which is like, I understand because it's like hard to take care of kids, especially if like they're not yours. And then she's always like, what if you get into trouble? And then the other parents like, oh my gosh, I did something wrong, and blah 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 blah. So yeah, it's hard. Like sometimes you understand why our family's like this way, like the culture and everything. But on the other side, you see like the American side, you know, like different sides and everything.
So true.
So true.
Right, so I guess to like kind of transition our way to the actual topic of this podcast, which is relationships. Does anyone have any like feelings on like how like us not being able to go out and hang out with friends and like developing like I guess like relationship boundaries like with like obviously not just like relationships but like also like friendship relationships, like do you think that like, somehow like growing up in an Asian household that's affected like you in a way, like just growing up in American culture and then coming back to a Chinese household? Because I know
I
like
can kind of. Oh,
go ahead.
I can kind of go off of that. I don't know. I feel like the only place that we can make friends was at school, and that's kind of an American society type of thing. Well, I know like school's just for Americans, but, like, but like when we go to school, that's like when we have to speak English and everything is like where we kind of like how do I say this? In like I don't know, like the melting
Conform
pot or
to
like what people call
society.
it. Conforming to society, yeah. So like
Assimilation now.
when we're at school, that's like the only place we get to make friends and everything. But like even after school, it's hard to make friends because like we already talked about, we're not really allowed to do anything besides go to school, come home, and just do homework. Like it
Yeah,
wasn't
man.
until high school we got to join clubs and everything. And even then we just had to join the clubs and just go home.
Yeah, I remember it took me a while to like even convince mom to let me play basketball. Like, I think me and Alan like tried to do sports. Um, this was a huge thing with our parents. I don't know why. I guess it was just like a time thing though, because they were always working and we couldn't really make it to
Yeah.
practices. But like even at a young age, when like I wanted to try like basketball or something, it was just a lot for them. I think they just wanted us to focus more on like studies and stuff.
Academics versus
Yeah,
like extracurricular stuff.
yeah,
It's like,
which I
stop
don't
wasting your
mind.
time doing this stuff when you could be
Yeah,
studying and being smarter. And I'm like, oh.
I don't know, man. I was just trying to go over to my friend's house, play some
Hello.
Wii, do
Not
some Wii
allowed.
Sports. I don't know.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Anyone else have any thoughts about how like that's like affected how we are as people, or like how it's affected your growth? Because like I feel like for me at least, like I feel like there's a lot of stuff that like I feel like we didn't learn how to like make plans with people, how to like just hanging out with people in general, like you said. Like I can only remember like maybe 2 or 3 times in high school where like I actually got to plan something with my friends and go do it, and even then that was like behind mom and dad's back. So like
Ew.
I don't know, like I just it's hard to develop as you grow older and like you want to do all this stuff like building your relationships, and it's just hard when we're not allowed to go out and stuff.
Add to that, because like, oh gosh, I just lost it.
I kind of have a
Oh,
thought. Oh, never mind. Okay, go ahead.
it's just like, just because we grew up the way that like mom taught us, like, oh, don't like go over we don't want to go over to other people's house because you're gonna bother them. So like when you grow up, I think that mentality still sticks with you in your head. So when you're trying to hang out with your friends, like constantly in the back of your mind, you're thinking like, oh well, like I don't want to bother them. So like that kind of also like makes it hard, just because that voice in your head is just like always in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
Well, what about you, Austin? Do you have
How do you
any
compare to this, Austin? Yeah.
because I feel like from what you've told us, like it seems like you got to do basically whatever you wanted to do like as a kid.
Yeah, pretty much from like 11, 12 on, I was doing whatever I wanted.
Do
Stay
you
at my friend's house for like a week. Like it
Oh.
didn't matter.
do you feel like that's like helped you like become like an adult?
Yeah, definitely. It's helped me learn like how to make those decisions on my own. I think from my perspective, I don't know about you guys, but when you're younger and you have less responsibility, I had the time to like do all that extra socializing and get that kind of, I wouldn't say like out of my system, but you know, I didn't grow tired of it either, but
Yeah.
I don't know the
Yeah.
words that I'm looking for, but basically like by the time I reached the age where had to start being more responsible, I was like, oh, I can budget my friend time and my responsible time. I wasn't because I imagine if you're not allowed to ever go out when you're
Yeah.
18, 19,
I
20,
know the
and it's like
coins.
you're in college and suddenly you're freedom and you just want to
Yeah.
party because you're like, I have not been able to party ever. Like to me, I got to college and I'm just like, I have done that. I've done
It's
like
done.
5 years of partying. I'm good. Like I don't need to do that. I can actually study and not feel like I'm missing out on something.
I want to
Yeah.
go off of that a little bit. Like Austin said, since we were little, we weren't allowed to do certain type of things because we were more allowed. So when I did go to college and I have all this like pent up like, oh, I never got to do shit, like I never got to go to parties or anything like that. So when I got to college, I was still like for the first couple of years I was like, oh, I have to study and pick my major, blah blah blah, and I was like hella sad and like depressed the first couple of years because I'm like, I don't know what to do with my life. I just have to study and do nothing. I don't like I didn't know how to make friends like even in college because I didn't know how to because all I ever did was just focus on academics. So when I went to college and then I started to like realize like, damn, this doesn't really matter. And I was like, I'm gonna go party and do shit now. And then I'm like, holy shit. I don't know. I feel like Andrew and Cindy can kind of go off of that because I didn't really party that much, but like I feel like they could kind of go off of that.
Yeah, the two party animals down there.
Party animals
Yeah.
down there.
Such a party animal.
Do you guys like feel like that is? Do you think that's the reason why, or you guys want to go do that in college, or do you think that's just like a normal college thing?
I
Then you
think
can
it's
go
like,
for
well, I was like the first to leave the house, so obviously like the
Yeah.
oldest. I've had like the law laid down on me because I'm like the first child, and you gotta make sure that they don't fuck up with the first kid. So
True.
like everything was like just really like expectations were really high for me. So when I went to college and then like I've never been away from my family or we never gone over to a friend's house. So like going to college for me was like a huge
Like you just got
huge change. Like I just got like
freedom, released from
just
jail.
slapped in the face with like, okay, like I need to learn how to manage their time and like learn how to make friends, but also managing school and then figuring out school. Mom and dad didn't know anything about college, so I have to figure everything about college. So I have to figure out my academics, figure out my relationships, and kind of just like figure out everything, you know. So it was all like so overwhelming. And I think what helped me with that, like at times, like I would so in my freshman year, I had a roommate that would always go out and like party, and I was like, how can she like do that every single night? Like I'm like in my dorm just studying, and then just like one night she was just like, you just need to let go, like come out and have fun. And then like I was
It's
like,
like,
you know what? I,
you're right.
I was
Let's
like, fuck it, let's
go.
go. And then after that, like maybe like she took it a bit like too extreme, but also like opened my eyes up like, okay, you need to like let loose a little bit, but also still focus on academics and stuff. But like after kind of like after that, I'm like, you know what? I should really like just like go out and like have fun.
Yeah, I feel like once you
Oh.
see like the extremes of both sides, then you kind of understand everything. Because we seen like the strict studying, and then you saw the
Oh,
extreme
that's too much.
partying. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, I kind of have to find a middle ground to that. That's how we learn and grow as people. Yeah.
Do you have anything to add to that, Andrew?
Party boy, party boy.
Yeah, definitely going from like restriction and then going to like freedom. You have a lot of time to manage, is what I've quote unquote so much free time, but like I have to manage like that free time into like studying, socializing, like and just like taking care of myself, which is nice, I guess. Um, but yeah, really at home, you shouldn't fucking do anything.
Yeah.
It's nice. Definitely like Cindy, I was lucky enough to have like in my first year of college, I was lucky enough to have like four other roommates. And so parties were always just like at my dorm, which was nice sometimes, but obviously when you're like studying and just trying to get your academics done, it's not so fun. But I had a place to go, so I could always just get away from it when I needed to. Um, Definitely, I don't know, as Austin said, getting it out of your system maybe. Um, it's still there. I just don't like I've experienced it. I know what it is, and I'm like kind of like done with it now. I don't know, like not done for like ever, obviously, but
He's not
like
done.
I
He
know
wants to
what it
party
is.
still.
I know what it is. I know like
Well, now you're
the
smarter
experience is
about
there.
when to
Yeah,
party.
exactly. Yeah. Um, that's kind of my experience with it. Also, I don't know, like growing up with like technology too, you just like see so much and like know so much of like what is also going around you. And so like you experience it, but then you can also just see it online, and that's okay for me, I guess. It's there if I want to go do stuff, and it's just my choice now. So I guess that's college, just free time and your own decisions. So definitely helps with developing relationships.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot.
Another. Oh, no, go
No,
ahead.
No, that's okay. You can go. No, you can go. Actually, no, go. You can go.
I was gonna say another thing that kind of everything that I talked about so far reminded me of is like how good we were at sneaking around and like doing things behind our parents' back because we
Were
like.
we though?
I mean, kind of.
Uh,
Remember when you went to the concerts and stuff, and you're just like, I'm going here to do
that
this
was just
stuff.
a blatant lie, though.
And
Like,
that's sneaking around. And then,
We found out though.
I mean,
You always
eventually,
tried.
yeah. But like, at least we tried, you know. We live. We
Mom's
learn.
always.
Moms always know. They know, guys. Don't try to sneak around your moms. They know.
Your mom.
I don't know. I feel like it kind of helped us to kind of like hide things from our parents, which is good and bad at the same time. But I feel like throughout the years, we've grown to like talk to like mom and dad more about things and like just communicate. I mean, like, I feel like when we were little, even Alan had to like sneak around his girlfriend. Ayo.
But like they never know. But like now that you think back on it, like
You're dumb.
obviously
You're
no.
I will say this: communication was definitely hard when we were children. I bet because mom was always just on our case about like doing this and this, and like this is how you have to do it. But and we had like no other say in it, and so it was hard to communicate like growing up with our parents because they were just like, well, there's no other way. I've lived this many more decades than you, so there's just no other way to do it. And I'm like, okay. So you just sit there and listen and just do whatever. In my opinion, I don't know about you guys, but
so, does anyone think that that's like affected like their communication skills in like relationships?
1000%.
I mean, I feel like it kind of like affected it in a good way and a bad way because I feel like I feel like in a relationship, it's more important for me to talk about things because I didn't have that when I was younger. So I realized how to do that more openly with my partner. So I think that's like the biggest part of a relationship.
Let's just make this clear. Everyone is taken except for me. I'm the only one single. That's why I'm hosting.
Single.
Single.
He's
Single AF.
single, ladies.
No.
Hey, he's single, ladies. Come here.
There's reasons why I'm single.
Oh, doesn't want to be.
But anyway,
Anybody else have
Did you wanna add
to
to
add
that, Cindy?
on?
oh, I was saying like communication has always been a problem for me in relationships. And I guess like I didn't really connect it. I mean, I guess I kind of did like connect it to like how we were raised. So like as Austin will find that when we why are you making that face? As Austin will find when we like need to talk about stuff, it's like really hard for me to talk about my feelings because growing up when like mom's like mad at us or like trying to talk to us something, she just kind of yell at us, and my like response is just don't say anything and just kind of sit there and just take it. So when
yeah.
Austin tries to talk to me about stuff, it's just like
She says talk, but we're like
She's going
literally
for it.
all I want is
Word.
one word, just a single word. That's like, I can't even get that.
I just shut down, and it's like really something I'm really trying to like hard to work on, like still like to this day, but it's just so hard
Yeah.
because it's been kind of
It's
like
so
how we
hard.
grew up.
Yeah.
So then, if you guys, you talked about having, your planned, essentially like your planned life up until you had your freedom in college, and some of you actually dated in high school. So at what point did you know you were ready for a relationship, and how did you get that? Like, how did you work around that?
I don't know. It just felt like freedom to me. Like,
Be in a relationship?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was gravitating towards like
Ooh.
freedom, I guess. A lot when in my like first actual relationship, it was a lot of sneaking behind like your parents' back and just
Yeah.
going to do whatever. And so, yeah, in a way, it felt like a release of like communication and all that. So
feel
for
like-
me, I was ready
Oh,
for a
sorry.
relationship just to be like released from like my thoughts and feelings from home. But that's just me.
For me, I feel like I knew that I was ready for a relationship because it felt like for the first time in like a long time, I finally had a choice of choosing something and doing something for my own. So like when I
Yeah.
knew that I wanted this person and I could choose them for myself and be with them, it kind of felt like it was meant to be because I like it's my thing and it's my own and it's mine. It's forever.
Yeah.
Makes
I
a lot
don't
of
know.
sense. It's like your
Yeah.
first decision that like you are making for yourself.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
Yeah,
everything
and
else is planned out for you. It's like you're gonna study, you're gonna go to college, and then X is gonna happen. But like you decided in that moment to
I
make
feel
it.
like yeah, that was like the moment that I like holy shit, I really like this person and I want to be with them. And I'm like I don't know, it just felt like mind blowing to me. Like holy shit, I can make a decision for myself. Oh my gosh.
Decision. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, for me, it's really different because like for me, my first relationship, like I started dating in middle school, like earlier than all of you guys. Like for me, it was really hard because I'm the only person that dated at a really young age because like you guys were never allowed to, and like for me, like even then, like I don't even know if I consider like my relationship in the early stages like even a relationship because like it took me like 2 years to actually like go up and talk to her and it was always just through texting like that's why I say it's like it's really weird like so like for me it's really hard because like I still had a lot of communication issues like I feel like for me at least like communication in family has like it's really affected the way that I communicate in like relationships so like that's something that I've never noticed until like after like I struggle to communicate how I'm feeling, and like I usually don't want to talk about whatever's going on. I'd rather just internalize that and just keep it to myself and deal with it on my own.
I
So
feel
like,
like oh sorry. Do you tell the floor?
that's okay. You can go. You can go.
I was just gonna go off that a little bit. Like at the beginning of my relationship, I really didn't know how to talk through an argument. So most of the time it's just us yelling at each other and I'm just like most of the time I'm just crying because I didn't know how to like deal with someone yelling at me because that's how I kind of dealt with that in the past. So
Yeah.
it's us just yelling at each other and I'm just like crying. It's like you're not listening to me, you're not listening to me and all that stuff. But then like throughout your relationship you kind of realized how to talk and listen to each other. And I feel like yeah, that's all I had to go off of.
Nice.
So continue what you were saying. I feel like you had something else to say, but that's what I had to say that before I forget because I keep forgetting to say things because it keeps running through my mind,
Well, I was just gonna say like
losing my train of thought.
yeah, like I was just gonna say like I feel like I went through two different stages of communication in my relationship. Whereas like I said, we didn't ever really talk like in person, but like once we got through that like comfort stage, like even then it was still really hard because like we never stopped like hanging out like we never started hanging out in person until like sophomore year of high school like so like even then after that another like stage of the relationship was like learning how to like I don't know like considering someone else's feeling is also like I don't know I feel like I've learned a lot through my first
Oh
relationship
my
and
gosh.
it's really hard to like communicate for me I don't know
You just made me realize because I really struggled on like considering other people's feelings in
Yeah.
a relationship because I'm always like it's all about me because it's kind of like
because you've
I
never
don't know
had the
I don't know.
spotlight on you
Yeah, I don't want to make like it seem like our parents seem like a bad person, but like it was always like them or nothing type of thing.
yeah
But like I realized they just wanted the best for us. But like
Yeah.
so that's how I kind of felt
Definitely.
like in like my own relationship. Like I had to control everything. It's like it has to be my way or no way.
I don't know about it's not
Mm.
controlling to like I wasn't trying to control him in my opinion but
Yeah, but like it was hard for me to realize that in my relationship because like it's relationship is a two-way thing, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find kind of interesting about what you said. First of all, it's absolutely not a relationship when you're like in middle school. It's
Oh
just not.
no!
Yeah, that's not
Oh
really.
no! Rip.
What's interesting
bro.
though is that when, at least from my experience, people in like fifth or sixth grade would be on recess and like hold hands and be like, "Yeah, we're dating now."
Yeah.
Like it didn't mean anything, but it's just interesting to kind of see how that would go down.
Well,
And then you talked about how you would like you texted for 2 years or whatever.
yeah so well
So
I just wanted to like it wasn't really 2 years but like we started dating at the end of 8th grade so it wasn't really
yeah,
like
but
our
your
relationship never was
relationship,
serious until like end of like or like midway through sophomore year of high school.
Yeah, it's like you were exclusive, but you weren't really. I don't know. You weren't like
Oh, like
phy-
no, I know what you
physically
mean.
exclusive.
Yes.
You were just texting. Like you were exclusively texting each other. You were exclusively interested in each other. So it's
People
kind of like people. Yeah, people knew about you guys. So
people knew, and they would always just be like, "Oh, why aren't you like talking to her? Like, if you guys are dating, like, why are you guys even dating? If you aren't gonna like
Yeah.
talk to each other in person, like hold hands, hugs, or anything, like, yeah."
yeah.
Do you think that's just because of like your love language, or do you think that's just because you were just young and you didn't know how to do stuff?
I was just young, like I said, like I've learned a lot through my first relationship, like a lot of things that like I don't know, like I don't know about you guys, but like I said, I don't know how it's affected you guys. It's just I don't know, it feels really different now from I feel like I'm completely different, like from
He's
when
a
I started my
different
relationship.
man. Ladies come for him.
No,
He's ready.
no.
Part of it is like the sheltering though, because when I was in middle school, some of the people were doing unspeakable acts that
Yes.
we will not go over.
Facts. No, we're not gonna
Like
talk about
you're over here talking about like, oh yeah, we were texting. Like that was the extent of it.
that.
Yeah. Which is not a bad thing at all. It's just I'm seeing it more as like a modern kind of relationship because when I was that age, it was 2006, 2007.
Look.
So yeah, you can do the math on how old I am. But getting a cell phone
Damn, he's
was like,
old.
yeah, he's old. Getting a cell phone was like tough. Like it wasn't a common thing that kids just had cell phones. So if you wanted to have that, oh, we're dating kind of exclusivity, you had to actually you had to actually do
Holy
it.
No, I get what he's saying
Ooh.
because like even when I asked her out, like it was just through text and like I don't
Yeah.
the way that I think about it now, it's super random because like we have never spoken before and I just had her added on Facebook. And like I literally the first thing I ever message her is like, "Oh, like nah." Like
Shorty
no,
bad.
no.
That's it.
No, it's just like
What's the ridge here? Come on.
What's
it was
yeah?
Yeah,
literally just
there
like,
is.
"Oh, like do you want to start dating?" Like and that was it. Like it was so random.
That's it?
Like I think
First
about
I
it,
love
it's like
that. No, I love that about like growing up
That's
because people literally say you want to date. They just have no idea what that means. They just
yes.
say,
like,
"Oh, we're dating now." It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But
that's your
like
first message. You're just like, want to date?
yes, that was my first ever message to her. And
No.
Hey, yeah.
exactly.
No.
Like
Oh,
like you just think
no.
about the things that you've done in your past and you're like, you would never do that now. Like
Sheesh,
Hey
the
girl, want
Riz.
to date?
no, but like
What a
it's
Man
player.
was straight to the point.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yo,
no,
Alan
it was
predicted the future though, because now we have like Tinder. It's like you want to fuck. It's just the same thing.
Wow, they could have been a millionaire.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I brought up Tinder. What do you guys think about dating apps?
No.
You don't
We
like
talked
them?
about this last podcast.
we
Did you?
started to talk about
We
it. We
talked
talked
about
about
a little
friendships
bit.
and dating apps,
Talk about it a
not
little
actual
more, I guess.
I feel
I
like
mean-
if you actually want to find a serious relationship in a dating app, you have to
Shouldn't be
start
on a
off by.
dating app.
I mean, you can still find people. You just have
You
to start off
definitely
by
can,
telling
yeah.
them that I want a serious relationship, and that's the only reason I'm on here. So if you're not on here for that, you're wasting my time and just fuck off.
I feel like that doesn't work though because it's like you can put that in your bio, but like some people are
Then
literally just there to like
Yeah, some people just play games with you then, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
there's
yeah.
there's some apps that are designed. I mean, not designed, but they're known for that. Like Tinder
Little
is known
better.
for a
Tinder is known
hookup
for
app,
that.
True.
Yeah.
and I don't know what Bumble is. You know what I mean though. They all
but
have like a
Bumble is known for
category.
the serious dating.
Okay, well there you go.
There's Hinge. I haven't really used Hinge though.
Hinge also seems like a hookup app
Does
from like
it?
what I've heard. I don't
I-
know. I've
I-
never used them.
I had Hinge for like a week, and it's like
Yeah.
it's
Hookup?
not really hookup. It's I don't know. I don't want to sound like that guy, but like it's very like niche people on there. Like
Yo, what do you mean by that?
no, that's not no.
What's
no.
happening here? What's going on
Yeah.
here?
Niche people? I
Yeah,
genuinely don't know. So if you could
That is
explain, that'd be
specific.
great.
I just feel like in my opinion, it just seems like they lack social skills.
Wow.
Like,
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know how to explain
That's
it.
some
Like,
niche people there.
I
Well,
don't
it's
know.
probably like Tinder then. It's just like it's the you want to fuck, yes, no
I
kind
mean, I
of.
You wanna
guess.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
I mean,
fuck?
that's kind of like all dating apps. So, like,
It's
it's
just
literally
dry. It's
because
dry content.
you don't get anything. Like, let's be real. Like, people that are on dating apps are literally only
Be
looking
real?
at pictures. They're never reading your bio.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah.
Pictures first, bio maybe,
Yes.
message. Yeah.
It's always pictures first. Like, there's literally
Yeah,
like
yeah, of course. It's always pictures first. In life too. I mean, you need to have some sort of reason to be connecting with this person if you're gonna interact with them outside of just like looks.
You think it's always physical first and then personality?
Absolutely. You look with your eyes and then
Absolutely.
yeah. I mean, there's certain scenarios where that's not the case. Like maybe you work with the person and yes, they will have looked at you first, but they still have to interact with you because they're your coworker. But I'm saying solely like in the wild of, normal day to day, it's going to be physical attraction first before anything else. How else would they know any other way to be attracted to you? Your smell maybe, I guess, if you walked by them. But then they turn around and they're like, God damn, like what the fuck? I don't know.
Hey.
Yeah.
I feel like
Unchargeable. Go ahead.
like it like I was about to get into it like from like our last podcast. I know we haven't
You about,
released it yet,
you
but
about
like
to get into it.
Getting
but like
into it.
but like being an Asian male on any dating app around here especially just feels terrible. Like I'm on them. I've been on them for like about a year and a half maybe. And like I don't think I've gotten a single real match on any app. Like all of them are just like bots.
Hey.
Or people just don't want to talk to me. Like
No.
like I haven't matched with anyone that's real. It doesn't seem like at least.
Around here, at least.
Well, I mean, even like when we were in New York and like
New York.
New York, we were in New York for like a week and I was on Tinder swiping and I was like, nah, none of these people want to talk to me, whatever. And then even in Atlanta, I was like, all right. It was even worse in
trying.
Atlanta. It was literally
Oh.
worse in Atlanta. Let me tell you, there's so many bots in Atlanta. So many.
Well, you run into other issues like cultural too, not just like Asian to American, but like literally cities. Like we come from a very small state, so going to places like New York, a lot of people can be superficial. So anyone that would be using Tinder is just not something that you'd be interested in. Like you said, like maybe they'll talk to you, but you're like, this is whack. What the hell is this? Like I don't want to talk to you. It's just it's not something that you're used to or want to engage in. It's very dry. That's the only way I can describe it.
I don't know. It's always like it's also like statistically proven that like Asian males have like terrible stats on dating apps. So
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you're taught to look for like marriable qualities, and you
what are
have
you
an
trying to say
app
about
like
Asian people here?
no. I'm not saying. I'm saying the culture of the apps. Like take Tinder for example. I have a friend that would always say like you will only pull girls on Tinder if you first of all you have to have like a cringe one-liner to get their attention. So you gotta like make them
True.
laugh. So like
So true.
you're already like selling your pride to like get their attention to start, and then they have to think you're attractive, number two, and then you have to be able to like engage them. Like it's on you. The onus is on you as the male. So I'm not surprised that, you know, I think the Asian thing definitely enhances that.
Let's hear
What are you trying to say about
everyone's
Asian people now, though?
best one-liner.
That's
Wait
I
a
don't have
second.
one-liners.
I don't have a one-liner either.
You don't have one? Dang, it's like you can't pull no girls.
It's so corny though. Like if you have game, you'll just naturally talk to them. You shouldn't have to like drop a one-liner.
No,
Like,
but
why would any girl find that impressive? Like I don't understand.
If you can impress me with one line, I'm impressed.
Judy said one liner, and all I could think about was like my first kiss. I was like, damn, Like that shit is so cringe. Like
You gotta put that out there.
That's the
Please
one-
put
I'm not
this
gonna
out
put,
one-liner,
there.
I'm not gonna say what I said or and how it happened.
That's the
because
greatest.
it's-
That's the greatest shit I've ever heard in my entire life. Not
Yeah.
gonna.
That's- no,
I'm
but
just
like that's
dying laughing.
okay. But the thing is, that's two kids being kids. Like they were what in middle school, high school?
Oh,
like
we
they
were
were.
sophomores. That's when
Okay.
that's how everything started happening.
You were like 15 years old. We're talking about grown ass 25-year-old
That's-
men that
that's
have to
that
do
one
that same
liner.
shit now. Like that's crazy. That's
true,
crazy to me.
though. That's
Yeah, it's
true.
stupid.
Yeah.
Like why is that the case?
That's a good
Don't-
point that you bring up. Like if I think about that and like if that's something I did like right now at this age, I would literally just die. I'd rather die than do that.
But
Like-
people do that, and people are receptive to that too, which is crazy. That's the crazy thing. People fall for that.
Like,
They want that even.
They
When I-
want that.
They're
when I
looking for
told you
that.
guys, it took me
No.
10 minutes to tell you guys that.
And
That's how
then
bad
I
it
literally,
was.
I literally
On a
died
drive down to
laughing.
Maryland. We just
That was so fucking great, bro. That's like the best thing I ever heard in my entire life. I'm not going to lie. I literally almost pissed my pants.
10k
laughing.
likes, 10k likes. Blow it up and we'll give the story.
10k likes.
Blow it up right
Alright.
now by giving us the story.
on a delusional car ride to Maryland. Alan told me that. I was like,
Holy shit! Oh my god!
Just imagine, literally no sleep through the whole night. Just
and
randomly.
then you hear that.
And then you hear that? It's over. It's over. Austin woke up from his sleep and heard it.
He's like, excuse me, the
He's
fuck
like,
did you
what the
say?"
fuck did I just hear?
That's right. That's right. Haunting me in my dreams.
Oh, it's so bad.
It took me so long to remember. I'm like, oh, what was it again? And then it just hit me.
Does Andrew know?
You get that W Riz. Yeah, I know.
Andrew
I
knows.
think I
dude.
told
I know.
Andrew.
I told you and Andrew at the same time.
Yeah, I was like, tell Andrew,
Yeah.
tell Andrew.
Yeah, nothing stopping that.
Oh, that was the greatest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Moving on from
One-
that.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
definitely impressed.
I'd be
W
impressed.
Riz, W Riz.
Austin, tell me you wouldn't be impressed if Alan pulled that on you right now.
What?
If I pulled that on him, hold on.
Yeah, you wouldn't be impressed, Austin, if he just came up to you.
I'd probably say get away from me.
Hey
no.
hey
People are just
yo.
gonna listen to this and be like, "This makes no sense." But like, if I ever share this story, people will
It'll
know and
make
they'll understand
sense.
why they're dying laughing.
No, then they'll understand how much Riz you have, and you'll get all the ladies.
That's pretty great. That's pretty great.
Anyways, like I said, moving on from this cursed topic.
No.
How would you guys define love?
Love is a hard thing to define.
Right, but like
Such
but
a
like,
hard word.
but like say someone's never been in love before and they've never had a relationship. How would you explain that to them? Like,
This question's too hard.
Love makes you feel
to your best
warm
ability,
inside.
how would you explain it?
I think it depends on where you're at in life.
True.
Because when you're young, and especially if it's your first time, you'd probably use words like love is everything. Love is all I think about. But then as you get older and you get responsibility or you've had multiple heartbreaks, whatever, as you gain experience and wisdom, I start to think of love as more words like compromise, teamwork, those kinds of words, where love is more about finding a partner, someone to like take on life together.
Deep. Facts. Nothing else to say.
Yep,
Perfect.
just end it right there.
All right, that's the end of the
But
podcast.
but like that's the thing. Like they're Cindy and Austin are at like the ultimate status of being married. Like
Oh,
like,
ultimate
you-
status.
Oh,
you
Top
and-
tier, S tier. S tier.
S
you,
plus
you and
plus.
Andrew are both in different states of your relationship. So like, how would you define it? Like just for context, Andrew's relationship is somewhat new. It's getting pretty old now, right? Like
No, it's been less than a year, my
I wouldn't-
dude.
It's
It's
been
very
only half a
new.
year.
okay,
Andrew's
never mind then,
Andrew's
my bad.
relationship's unique though. I wouldn't say that it's new because it's like a
That's true.
childhood friend. You guys were neighbors for so many years.
Yeah.
You know each other way more than just a
Hey.
6-month relationship,
Yeah.
It's pretty
how would-
far developed.
Would you say that? Would you say that you're in love?
Oh,
Of course.
Oh,
Get in love.
Of course.
Been in love.
They could have
like
been in
I-
love before they even decided to date. Like you don't.
How would
Yeah.
you define it though, and from your perspective, Andrew?
at your point of the relationship right now.
Yeah, like what is it
Which
to
is,
you?
like,
What
the-
does it
the
bring to your
beginning
life?
Stages. Is he there?
You want me to go first, Andrew?
He's there,
You
he's thinking.
wanna think
He's
about
thinking.
that a little bit?
Judy can go
It's
first.
a hard question.
Yeah. I feel like since he hasn't, oh, he has, but like, he's only been in it for like
Six-
actually define the relationship.
6
My
Almost
months.
6
relationships
months.
are weird. I would say my relationships are weird.
Anyways, I'll go first. So how would I define love in my current stage of life? I would say right now it's just someone to be comfortable with and like just let everything out and just be myself, I guess. And then we're kind of like transitioning to like Sydney's and Austin's point in like a relationship, kind of like settling down and like finding a lifelong partner to just like go through life with, I guess. I feel I think I don't know where it's from, but I think it's from a podcast. It's like it was from I think it's under the Influence podcast. It's like when you're choosing a partner, you're choosing someone that you can just spend the rest of your life with, you know? Like you'll spend the rest of the life with them. I don't know how else to explain it.
You are also unapologetically yourself at the same time.
Yeah.
Like you are through and through just yourself when you're with them. It's not like an act. It's not a persona. You're not changing who you are to be with them. And that's just, it's the acceptance of that, which makes it stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alan, how would you define love at your point in
Your
your
turn.
relationship with
Your-
your
Well, like
self?
I said,
I will watch.
I'm single, so like it's my love right now is just to you guys and learning to love myself mostly. But like it's a long road ahead of myself. But like
But like, if you had to go find love right now, what would you try to find in like a loving relationship
like, well, like you
He's
said,
finding
like,
that with himself right now.
yeah, like it's
with
you,
himself?
Yeah.
you need to know who you are as yourself before you get into another relationship. In my opinion, like I feel like I lost a lot of who I was in my previous relationship. But like I'm slowly learning to like know that like
Who
I,
are you?
it's I don't know.
Do you
I don't
need
know. I don't
do you
want to
need
like.
to introduce yourself?
No, I don't know if I want to put that out publicly, but like,
Make yourself into existence.
Well, you spent so much time in a relationship from such a young age. You didn't have time to do that self-learning
yeah. So
stuff, those stages. It makes sense.
Can I ask you what you've learned a little bit about yourself now that you've kind of been are in a relationship, I guess?
like what I've learned, like being single.
Yeah, about yourself. That's different than the past you.
I mean, there's not a lot that's different. It's mostly just a mentality shift of like, it's okay to be yourself. Like, you shouldn't have to change who you are to like try to like fit into someone else's life when you clearly don't fit into their life at that time. So like, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm really bad at
That makes
communicating it.
sense.
That's a tough lesson to learn as a kid, as a young person, especially when your heart is the most vulnerable. When you first love, it's hard. It's a heartbreak when it's gone. You are so blinded by it that when it
Yeah.
ends, it's like catastrophic.
It's like I said, it's been almost 2 years now, and it like still affects me. So
Yeah,
like
of course.
I'm still learning to get over it. Still learning to be myself and finding what it is I want to do. So I would say the biggest thing I've learned is like just loving myself.
Oh, love yourself.
Like I said, it's really hard, but I think I've gotten a lot better at
We're getting
communicating.
there.
I've gotten a lot better at communicating my feelings, in my opinion, because like before, like I wouldn't even talk to you guys about anything. So yeah, like I said, there's nothing like publicly that I want to put out there. So it's like
I have another question. You don't have to answer this if you don't. Well, it's not really a fucking bad question, but like, um, is it bad to change yourself in relationship?
no,
Depends.
I don't
Depends.
think it is, but it depends on what you're changing for. Like if you're changing for yourself or for them. Like
Is it natural? Like, what's the context?
I don't know.
I think she just meant to, like, over, like, in general,
Changing,
just
yeah.
like changing, like.
As a
I mean, if
person.
it's natural, everyone changes. Like every 5 years, I feel like a completely different person. So it's
He
yeah.
sheds his skin like a chameleon, like a snake.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, there's very toxic things too. Like
Snake.
there's like ultimatums and
Yeah.
they like requesting that a person change to fit your needs. That's such a toxic thing in relationships that goes overlooked like way too often. People say, I mean, it's a classic stereotype from, I don't know, the couple generations back where it's like, I hate my wife. Like it's this like stupid thing that's just
What?
existed for years. It's like, the wife won't let me have fun. I'm just miserable all the time. It's why? Why is that a thing? And why was it ever a thing? I don't know. It's weird.
Any other questions about this topic? Judy, did you have something else to ask?
No, all
No?
thoughts are gone from my brain.
Cindy, Andrew, either of you
Notes.
guys, anything to ask?
How long are we in right now? You know?
We're almost an hour in, but we still have a
Cy-
few more
wait,
topics.
Cindy's definition. And then
Oh,
we
yeah.
can
Oh
go.
yeah. Let's hear your we heard
We heard
Never heard
Austin's.
Andrew's either.
Well, he's
like,
buying
he's
time.
Well,
He's stalling.
well,
Me-
last, I guess.
Me and Austin are the same.
Oh, they're the same
Oh, okay.
person.
That's why you're
Put it
married,
in your
right?
own words.
Yeah,
Put it in your own words, though.
You heard our vows. You don't want to hear me.
I want to hear it. I didn't get to hear anything.
They didn't get to hear it though.
Yeah, tell us how you
Okay,
feel
Cindy.
about your
Yeah.
love.
So kidney stones.
No.
Wait, what? Wait,
Your
what?
vows were hella sus, man. It was crazy.
I think like Austin said, it's just like being yourself and just not being afraid to be yourself. And it's just like the little things when you go out and you're on your own, it just makes you like think of them. And but then like I don't know, like when you're together, you don't really like for us, we're just so comfortable. We're like next obviously like look, we're like next to each other right now and we're just comfortable. But then like when we are apart, it just makes you realize like, I really do enjoy like even if we're just sitting right next to each other, like this like gaming and stuff, you still enjoy their company even though you're not like doing anything, you know? And like
You just cut out
Oh,
hella.
you cut out.
Yeah, you gotta lean in when you're talking.
Lean into your Mikey.
I said that's kind of
Just
just
like
like
that, sit back
what
here.
I think of love is like you're just comfortable being yourself. You don't mind like some people are like, oh, like you're just sitting next to each other, not doing anything, not saying anything. Isn't that weird? Like, no, you're just kind of just comfortable, just doing
That's
your own thing.
quality time right there.
You're like doing your. I think it's like healthy to just like kind of do your own thing, but also like you're kind of doing it, like
Together.
doing your own thing together. You know.
It's a
So
form of a love language, just being in the same room but not directly
Quality
engaging.
quality
time.
time.
You could always just like reach back and just like touch each other, just
Ayo. Ayo.
I also want
pet
to
her
add.
head or something.
I also want to add to that
Mating.
a little bit.
Me too.
Can't reach.
Go
My arm doesn't bend that way.
I'm just gonna. You want me to go first? I'll go first. So like,
Well, oh,
I'll go first. So like for me, like in my previous relationship, it was kind of hard because it's like you guys said, like you're looking for someone to like you just want to be in the same room, but you don't have to be doing the same thing. Whereas like in
Yeah.
my past relationship, it was really hard for me to do that because like I would be wanting to do like what I wanted to do, but like because like I feel like this is bad to put out there, but like I don't know if she'll ever listen to this, but like if you do, I'm sorry, but like like it's just like I feel like I had my own interests and like she kind of didn't have her own interests. Like it was really hard because like in a sense like I felt like it was my responsibility to be like this is what we're gonna do today and like but I guess in a sense like she also wanted me to do stuff with her, but like I was like nah, this is what I want to do like but like you guys said like that's also like a part of like being holy shit I can't say it.
unapologetically.
It broke me too.
Broke broken. He's broken.
Yeah, that word, yourself. But yeah. So that's all I had to say about it.
I totally get what you're saying. My previous relationship was like that, where it's like, I'm bored and I'm unhappy that I'm bored. And I'm like, well, what do you want to do? And the answer would be, I don't know. And it was suddenly my responsibility to be the arbiter of fun. Like I had to suddenly make her happy. So it became a lot of pressure on our relationship that suddenly I was the one responsible for her happiness. And half the time it's like, it was too frequent for me that this would happen. You know, once in a while it's fine. Sometimes your partner's in a bad mood, you just got to pull them out, which is totally fine. That's part of, being partners or whatever, but sometimes it gets to the point where at least with this person we're talking like 85, 90% of the day. It's just like make me happy, it felt like. And so I felt like I was juggling two different happinesses and it
Yeah.
wore me down and I started to get bitter and I would get upset whenever she would act like that and then it was just downhill from there.
I think at some point in your relationship, you have to sacrifice a little bit of like what you don't like to make your partner happy. But like you said, it shouldn't happen like 90% of the time. You have to like just completely become the other person, type of thing. But like you have to like at least like try to like not like humor, but like just try like whatever your partner likes out like once or twice, I guess.
Tickle their fancy.
Is what tickle their that's an interesting way of saying it, but yeah. I guess
It's like
yeah.
4 things. There's like things you like to do together. One person likes them, the other doesn't, and then the same thing but for the other person, and then you both don't like doing it. And there's definitely like a middle ground where all of those, I mean, except for this one, right? You both enjoy it, so there's no middle ground. But I'm saying like for certain things, for example, Cindy loves anime. I haven't always been into anime, but we started watching it together and now I actually enjoy it. So it took a while before she like pulled me into that kind of hobby. And then at the same time we have hobbies. I mean, it's not a hobby, but doing things like laundry. Like we both hate laundry, but as long as we're doing it together, we're like suffering together, it makes it a little bit easier to do it. Because at least I feel like I know she's putting effort into something that she doesn't want to do, and I think the feeling is in reverse for me as well. Like she knows that I hate doing it too, but we're doing it together. So we're compromising
I was gonna say,
that
in
way.
essence, we're all just compromising.
Yeah, that's really what it
Compromise.
comes down to. Compromise is huge.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
But like
Andrew.
Judy said, it's like you
Oh.
can't change completely who you are. It's little things here and
Wait, I
there.
didn't get to go after you, Alan.
Yeah,
I
go-
came
go ahead.
back to me.
Yeah, go ahead. I was just gonna move the topic, but
Just
we
a
still have more to talk
tidbit.
about.
I think I was going off of what Cindy said. Like, I think like for the first time I was shopping the other day by myself, like literally just by myself. Why are you laughing at me?
Because I
What's so funny
remember,
about
because
this?
me and Cindy came home, and then you're like, I bought everything.
Oh, not
Why?
that time. Not that time. That was
Oh, okay.
that was different. That was a different type of shopping. This is like I want to shop for myself, like fun shopping.
Leisurely shopping.
Yeah.
Leisurely shopping, not I'm so stressed I have to
Okay,
shop
never
for
mind.
everything by myself.
Okay, good.
Okay,
I thought
so
you were talking about Thanksgiving shopping. I was like,
No,
what?
I was talking
that
about
that was pretty bad.
anyways, yeah, so I was leisurely shopping by myself one day, and I was like, I found something. I'm like, oh my gosh, Justin would like this. And it was like the first time, like, damn, I have to buy this for him because I love him so much, type of thing. I think it's just like so wholesome when you kind of like realize that type of thing, like just like remembering them at like small moments every day.
Ask Cindy about that. She buys me shit all the time. She loves buying stuff.
That's kind of like maybe like shopping problem though. I don't know. I mean, all of Austin's wardrobe is basically I bought for him. So.
At this point,
Alright.
yeah.
Andrew, what's your definition of love? If you have one. If you don't, that's fine. You'll grow to find one.
Yeah, it was condescending. Jesus.
Yeah.
It's not
Uh,
condescending. I was saying, like, if you can't, like, put it to words, it's okay.
definitely like being unapologetically yourself.
Oh,
That's the
look,
one
look
the
at
word.
this.
He's so
No.
good.
He's so good at English. He's so good at the
definitely,
English.
definitely that. Being comfortable, like just existing with each other. Obviously, all basic signs of like love, like, and when you in context as you grow older, love changes. Of course, you have heartbreaks and whatever. You go through different relationships and learn things about yourself and about like people. Um, so to me, love is like an action. Um, you don't get love by not doing anything. You don't get love by just not trying. Well, sometimes when you're like quality time, of course, when you're just like there existing with each other. Um, I don't know. It's hard to articulate for me. Love has always been like a difficult concept for me to grasp. Um,
But I feel like. Do you feel like? I feel like both your relationships have been kind of long distance. Now Emma's back. Though,
it's
so
been tough. So like the first two like the relationship that I'm in currently, we dated for 3 months and then she went away for 3 more months, which is fine. It's like I've dealt with it before because I was my previous relationship I was in for 3 months and then she went away for like a year and a half and we
That's
called it.
lengthy.
Yeah, and so it's been weird for me because like you have a spark and then it cuts off, but like that spark never fades. It's just like you have to rekindle it again. It's an action, so you have to like it's hard in long distance because like you don't get to see them every day. You talk to them every day, but it's like not the same, obviously. But like I guess for me, love is like speaking, being with them. Um, I heard this really interesting thing in a podcast, like speaking to somebody else and like just letting yourself be heard and like knowing that the other person like again this all connects back to like relationships, developing them and like being relatable to other people, like being yourself in that moment and just like talking to the other person. It just like confirms that you yourself as a person, you're being yourself, you're just being loved. And uh, I don't know, it's like I'm getting flustered, like my cheeks are turning red, like I don't know. It doesn't like for me love, like I'm a very like wholesome person, I would say. Like it doesn't take much for me to like smile and like um laugh. And so love for me is like a lot. Um Love to me is just happiness, of course, and everything in between. Love is also just like encompasses all emotions. I don't know. This is all generalizing love, but like I don't,
I feel like you say love encompassing all emotions is kind of like a good thing because like when you're in love, you're not just in love. You go through everything in life together.
yeah, love is very hard to define. Like I love Emma, right?
Oh,
I love Emma, but like at a point, like okay, do you guys ever feel like you say love like a lot? Like everybody goes through this phase. I swear. Like you say it like a lot,
yes.
and then you're like, okay, but like then you start to think, okay, but like
doesn't
what?
mean anything. Oh my gosh.
No, not that doesn't mean anything. Like I don't know.
Like, there's different ways to say love, basically.
There's a lot of different ways to say love, and not one definition of love fits everybody, I think is what I'm trying to get across. Um,
I think
yeah,
Cindy wants to go. Go ahead,
Oh,
Cindy.
Cindy.
you might have
If
to.
you're when you're done.
Yeah.
I think overall what you were saying was
Makes
pretty
sense.
understandable. It's like especially like where you are with in your relationship. Like I feel like a lot of it makes sense, like what you're saying. So
A lot. It is a
Yeah.
lot.
but
You
it
can
all
go
made
with.
sense. So
A lot that I'm willing to compromise for.
Go ahead, Cindy.
Well, Andrew was just saying like it's really hard to define love and it's
Mhm.
just like true, but there's also like different ways of like showing love. So like, he kind of went through the phase. He said, "Oh, you know how you go through the phase of saying just like, oh, I love you a lot." But then
Then,
like
yeah,
after that, it's kind of like you can show love in like different ways. So kind of how we were talking about earlier, how like you were leisurely shopping and you thought of Justin,
yeah,
like you're showing Justin a little bit of love by buying him that like one thing. It's like, oh, I thought of you, and this is, I thought about you. I still thinking about you. This is, so I'm gonna buy this for you. Just there's like that's like materialistic love, you know. And then there's like things you do just because. So, like Austin said, Austin and I do laundry together, even though we don't like to do it. Kind of work together through that. It's like that's like kind of love, but and then sometimes Austin will make me food. That's like him like showing love
yeah,
as well.
I love
So
food.
You know,
yeah,
you know when you really made it in a relationship is when you think of the other person as like an extension of yourself. So it's kind of when
exactly.
people say, "Oh, she's my other half" or whatever. So there'll be times where I'm just like, "You must be hungry because I am hungry. Therefore, I'm going to make you food, or I'm
Oh,
going to
Yeah,
make us food," sort of thing. So you buying something for Justin in the store, it's almost
Yeah.
like you went through the checks in your head. Like, do I like this? Yes. Would Justin like this? Does he
yeah,
need this? Okay, I'm gonna buy this for him.
I
yeah,
need those.
Well, I mean, yeah, like you would buy something for yourself if you thought you needed it or wanted it or whatever.
Yeah.
Same kind of deal with him.
Yeah. I feel like Cindy said, I think that's why I don't like really calling Justin my boyfriend. I call like either calling him like my significant other or like my partner in life because like he's not just my boyfriend, he's like my other half. Like Austin said.
yeah,
Wholesome content. So much wholesome content this podcast, guys.
So wholesome, I'm quaking, guys.
We can be toxic. You wanna talk about toxic relationships?
Yeah, that's not
Not,
some
not yet,
toxic
not yet, not yet, not yet.
relationships.
Let's.
That's we're
I
ready
wanna,
for
I
this.
wanna kind of talk about love languages now since we've talked about like
A
because
little
like
bit about it already.
yeah, we've already started talking about it a little bit. Where I was like quality time and like I would say like you like feeding Cindy is like acts of service almost. Like you cook, like you
Yeah.
and Cindy like you do laundry together and stuff. Like acts of service. Like
Good,
what do
good.
you
food.
guys think your like your
Top
highest
3.
your top 3 love language of like giving and receiving?
I don't
Whoever wants to
really
go first.
I have two.
You have
I don't
two.
have three.
Do
I
you
have
know?
the
You
most godly love languages of all time is feeding and being fed, or laughing, or just laughing.
Quality time.
quality time.
Food. I agree with Austin. Feeding
Yeah,
people.
If you could feed a woman and make her laugh, you can get any woman on this planet. I guarantee it.
You hear that, Alan?
Anyone.
I'm just kidding. Like, I would say like I like how Austin's going off it, like not going off like the typical love languages, which is like physical touch, words of affirmation, acts of service, gift giving, and quality time. What are some like other love languages besides that? Does anyone have any besides Austin? Besides, I mean, they kind of like rank underneath those, but like it's kind of more specific than that, you know?
Yeah, they start to get super specific. I mean, the only
Yeah.
other ones I could think of is like, I don't know, fixing their hair if it looks off or something. You just small,
Bruise.
tiny things like
The,
that.
hey, let me get that out of your face.
Not even in that way. It's just,
Hey,
you're trying to
vinegar.
look nice for work, and it's like, let me grab the lint roller real quick, kind of thing. It's not.
Ooh, shoot.
You're not trying to get saucy with it. I'm just saying, you gotta look good.
You gotta have the lint roller.
Hey, with that lint roll, let me get you. When you're when I'm flustered, guys. I don't even know, man.
Yeah, flustered about that lint roller.
I don't even know. That's been good.
I mean, seriously though, if your partner did not give a shit about that, you would question if they cared. You go suddenly you're at your work event, you look
Oh,
down, and it's just like
it's like
cat hair. You're like,
okay.
why
When me
didn't
and
they save
Justin
me?
when me and Justin lived together for a semester, we used to take the bus together, and like it's early in the morning, and then I don't know if it's kind of gross or not, but like every time in the morning, he kind of just looks at me, and I'm just standing at the bus stop or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, you have like paste on your lip," and then he kind of like he goes like licks his thumb and then like kind of cleans it off for me, like that kind of stuff. That's like
They love you enough. They want to make sure you're presentable.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You're giving your your best self out there into the world.
They're making
Because
That
you are an
happens.
extension of them. It just goes back to that.
That happens every day, guys. That happened every day. Just me, just yeah. Anyways,
Just doing what? Do that again?
hey yo, just brushing my teeth, man. You know,
Okay. Nice.
wholesome.
Does anyone else have anything else to say about love languages? Andrew, anything? You haven't really said anything about this topic.
Is there like a moment where you're like, oh, did you just realize like, damn, that's love, type of moment? You got any?
For me and Emma, it's probably just like going on drives and just like listening to music and
That's
just
love.
talking. Yeah, we just go on about whatever. Looking presentable, like, oh my god, you look so good today, and like, um,
Even talking is one.
Yeah.
It sounds weird to say, but some people get to a point where they just stop talking. They I don't know, maybe they feel like they know everything about each other.
yeah,
Tell them the
like,
story of
Yeah, we were in pho. We were at pho, getting pho one time, and me and Cindy were just talking like the whole lunch or whatever. We're just talking.
it's like the beginning of like
I mean, it's not that we usually talk when we go out now too, but there was this couple next to us, probably in their 60s or 70s, and the wife was just like, "You don't talk to me anymore." She just said that to her husband, like right in
Oh
front of
my
us.
god!
God. You're like, look at
And
these
then
kids talking. You don't talk to me.
exactly. And then the guy's like, "I'm eating," and then she's like,
Oh.
"Yeah, but you don't talk to me anymore." And then it was very uncomfortable. And then like a minute goes by, and he's like, "So how was your day?" And then she starts like, and then she starts talking about like what she did with her friends or whatever. I don't know. It was very artificial. It felt weird. You know, they lost that spark to even talk.
Oh, so sad.
I definitely know what you're talking about though. Like,
yeah.
"You talk to me.
You don't talk to me anymore. Oh.
I don't know.
Do you have any moments, Alan, even though you're not in a relationship, that you kind of realize, like, oh, fucking love, man?
No, not really. Like for me, like I'm really uncomfortable with like eye contact. So like for me, like when I was in a relationship, like sometimes I would just like stare into their eyes. Like that sounds so typical, but like you just get lost in their eyes. Like I don't know. For me at least, like also just like just holding someone, like someone that's shorter than you. Like I don't know if you and Cindy have experienced this. Well, I guess Andrew has too. I was about to say, but I'm much taller than him. But like
Yeah, but he's getting held.
Ah, okay, yeah, now I'm
no, I didn't mean it like that. I swear I didn't mean it like that. But it's like just holding someone and like you feel like you're protecting them almost. So like
Emma's protecting Andrew.
Yeah.
yeah, just I don't know because like I
I
don't like
have
it.
one.
I don't like it when like anyone in our family touches me because it's like just
Me,
don't
Gucci
touch me.
Gucci.
Just don't touch me."
Just don't touch me.
Hey, Andrew gives you hugs. You like that?
Sometimes.
Only Andrew though. Mm.
Sometimes.
I think I can summarize love languages. It can be any action or anything that's done that shows that you thought about the person, even if for a brief second. Because I'm in my head, I'm trying to think of what's the smallest thing that I could think of that I've done to show love. And it could be as small as I know that she likes to brush her teeth in the shower because I usually get out of the shower before her, and then we like kind of trade spots, and I'll like put toothpaste on her toothbrush and hand it to her in the shower, sometimes without her even asking, because I know she wants to brush her teeth in the shower. Because I'm outside brushing my teeth, and she wants to do it at the same time, so she's not like abandoned in the bathroom or whatever. It's like what is the smallest thing that I could think of, or even doing one thing in the morning, like putting like putting our lunch together just to save her like 2 minutes in the morning or something. Just one action that shows you thought about them. Thoughts?
That's,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
understandable.
I have
Anyways,
another thing. Oh.
no, go ahead. Like I was
I
just
keep
gonna move on.
interrupting you.
No,
I'm
no, it's
sorry.
okay because like
It
no one's talking, so I was like, okay, we should
Yeah.
just move on then. But
It's nothing on topic, but like it's just another point in my relationship where I realized like, holy shit, I'm in love type of thing. It's like, I don't know, just making us talking about relationships make me think about this type of stuff. So like one time me and Justin were shopping and we were just like doing stupid shit like holding hands and like skipping down the road or something like that. And then some old lady was like, "Oh my god, you guys look so happy together. Oh, what a beautiful couple." And then and like in that moment I'm like, "Damn, we're the best."
okay.
We're like we're just like, damn, we actually are happy and like we can do all this stupid dumb shit together, you know? Like in a relationship, you're just like, you don't fucking care what other people are thinking when you're together.
It's like that cheesy quote. It's like, "You're in love. Everything around you, or everything around you, just stop."
Yeah, all that
Yeah.
cheesy stuff. So true.
You're like, once you're like, if you're not in a relationship and you're seeing other people do that, you're like, oh my god, that's so cringe. Like, what the heck are they
I don't think
doing?
that's
But
true because like I
I
see you
don't
guys do stuff and I'm
know.
like, damn, I wish I had that. Like
Didn't some guy do that to us, Cindy? Like on the subway in a city or something? I swear I
like-
remember.
Like a gas station's like, You're a beautiful couple.
He's like, "Hey
You two
yo,
are beautiful.
that's a beautiful couple right there."
That's all.
You two are
That's all.
beautiful."
Yeah. I don't know. Having other people like kind of like confirm it is kind of sometimes feels nice too, I guess.
Affirmation.
Affirmation, A plus,
Right.
so good.
Yeah. Me and Emma share like art together. We share like art
Yeah.
pieces,
That's
art
totally love
progress.
language.
That's
Yeah.
you. That's your
That's
love
cool.
language.
like
That's
we said in the first
beautiful.
podcast, like he has this app or widget with Emma where they just send each other like drawings like throughout the day. Well, it's just one per day, right? I don't know how it works,
Yeah.
but like they put
Pretty
effort
cool.
into that and like they write cute little messages on it. Like
Was
what?
What?
What'd you say?
what
Cindy?
was that? What was that, Judy?
I was burping.
That looked really bad.
Hey ho.
Hey you.
Watch that in post. See what happens. All right. Anyways,
Share
moving on.
music.
We
She used to
gotta.
do this thing where she
We
like,
gotta.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
go
Continue.
ahead.
you know how you're like, oh, Emma, like, oh, I don't know, holds you because she's like talking.
Yeah.
She's
What
like
about it?
she used to do this thing, like, not so much anymore. But she like, you know how like when you tap the back of like somebody's knee, so like, but the place behind your knee.
Me,
Yeah.
I do that to Andrew sometimes. Like, when it like makes you sit down. You know, it makes you
Yeah, yeah,
collapse.
yeah.
Yeah.
She does that, but like, I know that if she ever does that, she'll always be there to catch me, and so it's just nice to know that.
And like me, where I just do it and watch Andrew tumble into the ground.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude? Not like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on from love languages. Have any of you guys ever heard of attachment styles?
No.
Nobody, right? Austin, have you?
No.
No. All right, so
No.
nobody. So like, I learned about attachment styles after my breakup. Like, I just went on like I don't know. It's not like I was just trying to figure out what like I was just in a terrible mindset. I was like, oh, what's wrong with me and stuff like this. And I saw this thing on. It sounds cringe, but like I saw this thing on TikTok talking about like, oh, like
TikTok cringe.
this is for you
Hey.
because it's on your for you page and this is how you feel. And I was like, hey yo, what the fuck is this? Like this is like accurate on how I'm feeling right now. Like
It got me.
yeah, like TikTok caught me with the algorithm, dude. Like, but it's like it's talking about attachment styles and like so I'm just gonna read the attachment styles here because I don't know them by heart, but like I listened to the ebook about them. I learned a little bit about them, but I feel like it's still important for people to know about them because like I said, like I don't know, I just feel like this would be useful to people. So like there's avoidance types, anxious, the secure and confident people, and the disorganized and fearful people. So like for me in my previous relationship at least and who I still am, like I'm still an anxious person and like somewhat avoidant because like I said, I don't like talking about my feelings, and like I'm very anxious in the sense of like I'm very worried that like people are gonna leave me because like I said, just in my own head and stuff. But like whereas like my ex was very avoidant in the sense of like, well, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how much I want to talk about it publicly, but it's like, yeah, like I don't know if that makes sense. Like I don't know how else to define it other than like the names of like the actual attachment styles.
I think you should describe each of our attachment styles because you were because
Oh
I
yeah,
think I talked to it kind of with you when we were kind of making the whatever like stuff.
yeah.
So I think you're better at explaining it. So if you want to go around doing that for everyone,
Okay,
that'd
okay.
be
I'll do
good.
that first. So I'll start with Austin because it's like pretty easy. So like I think Austin is very secure and confident, but also a little bit anxious. I think Judy is. What did I say you were? I think you were disorganized.
How does Austin feel about that though?
Oh,
Does he
do you
agree?
want to talk? Oh yeah, we should talk about it first. It is.
I would ask, what does the anxious mean in regards to what?
I don't know
He's
how
like,
much. I don't know how much you want me to say like publicly. Like
Is it anxiety towards?
in the relationship, not yourself. Well, it can also be yourself, but like
I mean,
like I said, it's hard to explain it. I don't know.
I could see different reasons to be anxious, like about having kids and stuff. So yeah, okay, yeah, I agree with the rating.
Okay. Judy, what did I say for you? I think I think I said you were disorganized, fearful, and a little bit anxious, right?
You want to explain that?
Disorganized and fearful because like you don't really know what you want to do in the future, and like fearful that like you think Justin's gonna find someone that's better than you or whatever. At least that's what you always say. And
Yeah,
anxious,
that's true.
and that kind of falls into the anxious section. Like fearful and anxious are kind of the same.
Yeah.
You agree
I
with
don't know.
that?
I feel like I kind of agree with that, but like in different forms, I guess. I feel like I'm more anxious to like, since we're not together right now, I'm just anxious to like be together with him, type of thing. You know?
Yeah, I
And like
think that still falls into the category of anxious. So
yeah, yeah. I
yeah, like,
agree.
okay.
Solid. Next, Cindy.
Cindy, I feel like she's avoidant and anxious,
Oh.
which is like it's like I don't think you should be like ashamed of any of these. Like that's just who you are and like your attachment style. Like you just
Explain for
so, like,
Cindy.
for Cindy, like she said, she's very avoidant because like sometimes she'll just sit there and just like take it, and it's like that's a part of avoidant. Like you don't want to like it's almost like you don't want to like acknowledge it. Like that's the whole point of being like avoidant. So like you're just sitting there, like you said earlier, like you just sit there and you just listen. You don't really say anything. Um, Anxious. I don't know. Actually, I don't know where the anxious comes in really. But like also the same part, like a little bit of like I don't know, like you're scared that like you also are like sometimes I feel like sometimes you're scared that Austin's gonna leave you and find someone better because like you said you don't really know what you want to do either. So like yeah, I don't know.
What do you feel about Cindy?
Yeah, how do you feel about that?
I think it's just like anxious because we're both in this like
Limbo.
weird point in our life. We're like kind of in our mid-20s, reaching our like early 30s, and there's just like pressure from like everyone around us to have like kids and like all this other stuff, and just how like um things are going on around us like in the world, like housing. So you have to decide between having a house or kids, but we're married, but we never had like a full like wedding or ceremony or anything. So like I think more of the anxiousness for us at this point in our life is just figuring that stuff out together. So
That makes sense.
I
Wedding when? Wedding when?
see,
Yeah.
so it's like all these questions like, oh, wedding. So you're technically married. So when are you gonna have the ceremony? And when are you gonna have kids? And when are you gonna buy a house? And like it's just like all this stuff right now in our life that's just that's so much anxiety.
Yeah.
All right. It's kind of hard for me.
All right.
For Andrews at least, because I haven't really seen him with Emma that much, like as a couple. But like I feel like he's pretty secure and confident, and
That's it. Nice
I
job.
don't think he really has another one that I've seen at least. He's mostly just secure and confident.
What do you feel about that, Andrew?
Maybe a little bit anxious due to
Long
So
distance.
probably just anxious and disorganized and fearful.
You think you're disorganized and fearful?
Definitely.
Okay. I don't know. Like I said,
Okay.
like I said, I didn't really have a good definition of like the attachment styles. Like it's really hard for me to explain. Like I just don't know how to explain it. But like I said, I listened to the audiobook, and I think people should know about attachment styles, because it's like there's some that are compatible and some like how to deal with like someone that's not the same attachment style as you. But like I said, I feel like I was very anxious, and like my ex was very avoidant, so like learning how to deal with that would have been helpful. That also falls into way back earlier in this podcast of like learning that from like an early relationship and like developing. So
Alrighty, I'm gonna wrap this up because I'm falling asleep. No offense, but I'm just tired and I still have to pack type of stuff.
you
Can
want to
always
wrap
break it
up?
into 2 parts if you want.
There's
Yeah.
still a little bit left that we have to talk about, but
I feel like it's
There's a
gonna.
lot.
Still
There's
a
a lot
lot
we can
left.
still cover on. Like
You could
on
actually
that.
just break it in half, yeah, if you wanted to.
There's a
Not
lot,
meaning
dude.
to shut this down or anything, but like
Yeah, I
it's
No,
will.
that's fine.
never mind. There is a lot. Okay, I thought
yeah.
There's still a lot. Yeah.
You could just hard stop it and part 2 it if you wanted.
How's up?
Well, I think yeah. Since I know Andrew has finals still, so we'll just hard stop.
Don't even have a final.
He's
Well,
lying to us.
I thought you had finals tomorrow.
Yeah, I have a speaking final. That's it.
It's still a final, so
Ni hao,
it's okay.
Ni hao ma.
我很好.
All right, we're just gonna call it there, and we're gonna come back. Oh
Yeah.
my god!
On that note,
On that note, where was I? I just lost my train of thought because Austin said that. We're ending the podcast, right? We're ending it for now. We'll be back for a part 2 on relationships, and yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. We'll probably have Austin back for the part 2 because I want to see his.
he was in part
perspective.
1.
Yeah,
Maybe
he was in
he'll
part
want to
1.
sit next to me next time.
Ayo,
Oh.
ayo, ayo.
Or we'll move the
Yeah.
setups. We'll move the setups farther apart so I can actually talk.
Wow, farther apart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. We'll
Let's go to
see.
the bathroom.
So until the next podcast, thank you guys for listening. Anything
Thank
else
you.
you guys want to say?
Love you guys.
Love you too.
All right,
He's so
guys.
tired.
Love you.